Okay, hello and welcome to the Fuzzy Loaf Podcast, where two dorks talk about the week's happenings in nerd and pop culture. I am your host, as always, Scott. With me, as always, is
Matt.
Hello.
All right, so we just did our Deadpool review. You can go check that out somewhere on here too.
On iTunes or YouTube.
Yep. What Matt said.
Yep.
So, let's just... I don't think there's any introductions we need. Let's just roll right into it. Matt, give us some quick bits.
Okay, let's jump past the first couple. Ryan Reynolds has said that his next priority is getting an X-Force movie made. And considering the fact that he got Deadpool made and it's doing really well, I think that it will happen.
You get an X-Force movie made, I will see it.
Yes.
I love that Fox is finally getting the X-Men. I don't want to say right, because they're very different than the comic book X-Men, but they're still enjoyable.
Yeah, they're doing it the way that works in live action. That makes sense without all the backstory of the rest of the Marvel universe is what it feels like. They're starting to finally get right.
I've always loved X-Men. When it comes to my favorites, this fucking table's so wobbly. When it comes to my favorite superhero teams, number one, Teen Titans, just because I love the Titans. Number two, X-Men. I just love me those X-Men. And then Justice League, and then Avengers, and whatever else. But so I'm excited to see that these X-Men movies are turning out, and I would love to see an X-Force movie.
Me as well.
Yeah.
Okay, next bit. Following the success of Deadpool this weekend, which broke a number of box office records for rated R films, they have announced that Fox has announced they greenlit a sequel. So
that's
the records, the records they broke were made 47 million domestic opening day, which beat out the other film, 50 Shades of Grey. I was like, I can't think of the words. And it's set to do at least 140 million this weekend is what they're predicting, which is fantastic. Not only for a rated R film opening weekend,
superhero film.
But yeah,
that's better than Man of Steel, Ant-Man, quite a few others. And
it far surpasses, I think it was like 110 million that was 50 Shades of Grey on Valentine's Day weekend, which used to be like you'd send a movie to die on that weekend.
Hot damn.
Small spoilers for Deadpool. Just tiny spoilers. Not really huge spoilers. In the end credit scene for Deadpool, the Merc with a Mouth comes out on screen to say that Cable will be in the sequel. Well, Stephen Lang came out on Saturday with a picture on Instagram saying that he wants the role for himself.
And I think most people agreed that they want him as Cable.
Totally
Dude
works.
Looks like Cable.
Yeah.
And he's good at playing that gruff, grizzled military guy, which is perfect for Cable. The guy who doesn't take any shit, So, yeah.
It'd be fun to see him play the straight man to
Deadpool. Wacko, crazy, Animaniacs style character.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So,
Netflix's team has announced that a trailer for Daredevil Season 2 will release tomorrow, Monday.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yep.
Sweet.
I think we get a glimpse at Punisher, is what I read.
Ooh, I don't really like Punisher that much.
Nah.
I've noticed I'm not really into those, the gun-toting, super, I'm not really into Deadpool very much. I don't really like Punisher very much. I'm into, the more, traditional superheroes characters.
I did not like the Punisher movie that came out. The idea of Punisher is fine with me. The idea of Deadpool is fine with me. I guess we'll just have to wait to see how they portray him.
I'm just not really into those
Daredevil.
super edgy characters. The ones that sell a lot of stuff at Hot Topic, I guess you could say, are the ones I'm not really into that much.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, just being honest. Like Harley Quinn, who gives a shit?
Everybody gives a shit about Harley
except
Quinn.
Me.
All right. Netflix announced this week a new show called Beat Bugs, which is an animated series about five bugs exploring the big city. The soundtrack will consist of 50 Beatles songs from artists like Eddie Vedder, Regina Spektor, Sia, The Shins of Monsters and Men, Chris Cornell, Pink, and many, many more. Looks interesting.
That's pretty
for a kid's
cool.
show.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept. I am not a fan of the Beatles.
Yes.
Gives me a lot of shit.
But I would
pretty cool. And I would check out the
some of these might be really
Eddie Vedder,
cool.
Sia, Shins.
I would love to hear what Sia is going to do to a Beatles song.
That'd be awesome. So yeah, that gets me interested.
Yeah.
Even as a non-Beatles fan, as one of like 3 non-Beatles fans. Or are you a Beatles fan?
No.
Yeah.
I grew up. My parents were like obsessed with the Beatles and played them all the time. That it's just kind of like meh.
Oh, see, I didn't grow up with the Beatles or anything.
Yeah.
I didn't even grow up with like really good music at all. So my friend loves the Beatles, and every time I tell him I don't like the Beatles, he's just doesn't understand. Like, it doesn't compute with him, and he just gets angry at me. I was like, sorry, dude. I just think I understand what they did for music and culture. But I'm just.
It's like people not liking classical musicians. It totally makes sense. It's like, I don't think that people don't understand their importance in the history of music. I just think people are like, okay, well, they did their thing hundreds of years ago. That's great. Not for me.
It's like me. I'm not into a lot of classic hip hop. I don't really like Run DMC and stuff like that. But
that'll get you shot, man.
Yeah, whatever.
Speaking of getting shot, a trailer for Netflix's Fuller House has been released.
That was the worst segue I've ever heard in my life.
It gives a glimpse.
Nothing to do with anything.
No, it didn't. I was just saying, speaking of something you just said, here's something that's entirely not related.
Jesus.
It gives a glimpse at how the families came to live back in the same house. I did not watch it. I
didn't
have
watch
zero
the trailer
interest
either.
in watching this.
I don't really, because I loved Full House as a little kid.
I just completely.
I don't want to watch the trailer because I'm like, I don't want to.
I don't think it'll be bad. I just think it's not.
Can
for
we
me.
just like talk for a second about how networks are just bringing everything back?
Well, this is Netflix, and think about this.
Well, I mean the same thing. You know what I mean? You've got X-Files coming back after like 20 years.
Gilmore Girls.
Let's name
Degrassi.
Degrassi. Oh my god. They brought Heroes back, which wasn't even good in the first place.
Heroes was like the first half of the first season was okay. Was like, okay, this is an interesting idea, and then the rest of the series just sucked.
There's some other one. They brought back 24.
Yeah.
It's like everyone's just way too afraid.
And yet we don't. Firefly's not brought back. Buffy's not brought back. I mean, these are great shows that you should bring back. So get on your shit, Netflix.
Everyone's just too afraid to which I understand. They're businesses.
Ideas.
They're too afraid to take any chances on new programming. But like, I don't want to see any of this old stuff. I don't care about X-Files coming back after 20 years or Full House or whatever. Let's move on. Let's tell some new stories.
Yeah. Just steal the idea. Give a different name. Have different characters.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like I was watching Movie Talk or something this week. They were talking about Bad Boys 3, right? And they were like, okay, they're doing Bad Boys 3, but if like Will Smith and Martin Lawrence don't come back and you get some new guys in it, what's the point of calling it Bad Boys?
Yeah, just call it something else.
Call it something else. Make it different. It doesn't like. Then you have a whole new franchise. You have something totally different. If you know, I mean, maybe that's a good like writing exercise. Like, say here, you go and that's how 50 Shades of Grey came out.
Yeah,
you start off.
A lot of great stuff comes out of that,
right?
You know,
Star Wars was because George Lucas couldn't get the rights to Flash Gordon. And then you have you have the biggest franchise of all time.
Yeah.
So it's like, maybe if you got something in mind, slap a different name on it and then change some things around.
Don't do that, kids. You'll get sued for copyright.
Okay,
I get no idea. The
Say
idea
you want to write an original
yeah.
story based off of whatever characters. Just
well, shit. We see it all the time. It's like just change enough that you can't be. You know what I mean?
That's what I meant.
The idea behind
I don't mean
yeah.
like.
No, I know. I was just making a joke.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Give me the next thing.
Okay. A bit of news we missed last week. Elizabeth Banks has joined Power Rangers as Rita Repulsa. I can't speak.
That's okay. I can't.
Rapita. After wrapping filming for Suicide Squad, Margot Robbie gave 26 crew members tattoos. They got the word squad, their hashtag, the SKWAD, tattooed on them. One unfortunate person got a misspelled tattoo, though.
I think that's kind of funny. I'd get Scott. That's pretty sweet. It actually kind of works with my name, though. So
yeah, that
the Elizabeth Banks' Rita Repulsa thing. Everyone's talking about how they don't give a shit about Power Rangers. Everyone on the movie talk space and all that stuff talking about how they don't give a shit about Power Rangers. As someone who grew, because they're all older than we are.
Yeah,
I grew up with Power Rangers. When I was 6 years old, I loved the shit out of Power Rangers. My neighbor behind me had every single Power Rangers toy, all the Megazords. I was so jealous. I would go over and we'd play with them all the time. So, do I think this new Power Rangers is going to be any good? No. It probably won't be.
Yeah.
You never know, but I'm just not getting my hopes up. Am I interested in seeing it? Am I interested in more about it? I'm actually pretty interested in what they do with this.
Yeah.
I don't know about you.
I grew up very obsessed with Power Rangers.
Okay.
It to the point where I remember my first interaction with the internet was they had announced a Power Rangers online flash game that you could play if you logged in with your cable provider or whatever. This was really early dial-up days, and I was like, "Hey mom, can I do this?" And she's like, "I don't know how to get I don't know how internet. What is internet?" And so I was obsessed with Power Rangers. I'm interested, but only in this is going to be an absolute train wreck kind of thing.
I mean, I hope it isn't.
Same with me. I hope that it's successful, but I don't get what they're trying to get at, because they're not making it adult enough for the adults. They're not making it kid enough for the kids.
Who are they appealing to?
Yeah, it's 13-year-olds don't care about this.
If they can make it a Gods of Egypt type train wreck, I'll be interested.
Yeah.
If that makes sense to you.
Yes, it does. Johnny Depp will star in Universal's The Invisible Man. This movie will take place in Universal's shared monster universe alongside the rebooted Mummy, coming out on July 9th, 2017.
Well, I've talked about my thoughts on shared universes and all that stuff, and
I think this could be
Universal
interesting.
monsters could work. I would love it if they set it in the 30s, because that'd be really cool. All of them, their movies.
Yeah.
Then I'd be kind of interested in it.
I would be more interested if they're shared universe in the way that they're all happening in the same universe, but they don't necessarily all team up or meet up together.
I don't want to see the monsters as superheroes.
No,
I don't want that. I want to see classic monster movies remade, taking place in that classic time period, but remade with today's technology and everything. And and then just maybe there'll be slight crossover here and there, or maybe you will have a movie with all of them together, but but they're not the protagonists. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Somehow they're all connected. Somehow they're all connected by some kind of bigger.
We get the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen again.
That's not gonna happen.
Do it.
But it won't.
I love the comics. I did not love the rendition. It's great.
Cool.
It's silliness, but it's great.
Sweet.
Ready Player One has been pushed back to get out of the way for Star Wars Episode 8. Kind of no surprise.
Yeah.
I also don't think that movie was anywhere near ready. Anyways.
Yeah. Get it?
Ready. Yeah. The Han Solo movie has received a release date of May 2018.
And when we were going over the notes for the show, I said how the Han Solo movie is the only Star Wars movie I'm not really looking forward to. I think it's a mistake. I don't think they should really be doing it.
Don't if we've heard rumors that the third one is going to be a Boba Fett movie. I don't want that either. I don't want that either. I want new stories, new characters. I don't want to look back, especially not Han Solo, because there's no good way. We saw Harrison Ford play Han Solo when Harrison Ford was young. How are we going to see somebody else play him slightly older that looks enough like him but isn't him? It's not going to work.
Right. The only prequel spin-off movie I would want to see would be an Obi-Wan with Ewan McGregor versus Darth Maul.
I would love to see Ewan McGregor play Obi-Wan in the appropriate age range for you know what I mean? So let's say pre
episode 4, post episode 3. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, him versus Darth Maul.
Yeah,
Darth Maul's back with his robot legs, and he's ready to go. And Obi-Wan's just hiding out on Tatooine, and Darth Maul finds him, and
otherwise, these anthology films, to me, they're missing out on a huge opportunity to go back even farther and tell like stories about people that aren't necessarily related to any of this.
Like some Knights of the some like Old Republic stuff,
or like they could get into characters that are like very, very small potatoes, like have nothing to do with any of this future stuff. Like, I don't want to see another Skywalker. I don't want to see another, like, just tell stories about other people in this universe or other places in this universe.
At least for the anthology films.
Because they have the opportunity to jump around. If they're going to go back in time, I don't want them to go back to the time that we have the most stuff already.
Right. Get out of that original trilogy timeline and let's go, like, way far back.
Or let's go, like, between the actual movies that are happening with side characters, like
or between 5 and or 6 and 7.
Yeah,
because that's like the biggest gap. That's 30 years.
Well, and that's the one that we have the least information about because they're trickling it out.
Right. So
another bit of news about Star Wars. Target apologizes for and removes Star Wars pools that look like straight up cocks. So they're these like they're pool toys
that you drop. They're dive sticks. You throw them in, they fall. They go to the bottom of the pool, and you're supposed to dive after them and bring them back. They look like straight up dildos, though.
Yes. So what was meant to be a harmless pool toy for kids looked an awful lot like Star Wars themed dildos. This was freaking hilarious to see. The catchline on the phrase was fun in the pool and out of the pool, and it was like, who the fuck?
Who wouldn't want Darth Vader tickling their bits?
Yeah,
I mean like,
wow. Good news, pot smokers. Star Wars: The Force Awakens has successfully been synced with Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. If you start the record when the opening scroll finishes and the camera begins to pan down, it'll successfully play through 3 times. I guess there's like 6 or 7 parts that match up like perfectly.
Someone really worked on this?
I have no idea.
Who cares?
Must be some kid at like a movie theater that has access to, because like he must have been like watching the film with headphones in, because you can't get the movie anywhere unless you watched a fucking camcorder version of it. But I guess like on I can't think of any of the tracks, so never mind. I'm not gonna even try.
Seems dumb. Seems like a waste of time.
I just can't believe people are still trying to sync up Dark Side of the Moon with anything.
Who cares?
Yeah. This week, we got a glimpse of and some details about 3 new Stormtrooper helmets: the Shadow Stormtrooper and Sand Troopers. I can't speak, on Donnie Yen's Instagram. So these are for the upcoming movies and a new line of toys.
Cool.
And there was like really detailed information about like the helmets and their functions.
I love Star Wars toys, I think, more than I like the Star Wars movies, so
that's a lot then.
I'm a total dork.
Moving on to some miscellaneous TV news. A trailer for Comedy Central's hilarious Broad City Season 3 has released. I'm very, very excited. You said it's coming on next week, right?
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Next
week.
Wednesday.
Yep. Jughead and Betty have been cast for the CW's live-action rendition of Archie titled Riverdale.
I don't know how well it's going to go.
I don't know.
But I
either.
love the Archie comic that's going on right now. Definitely check it out.
The actress Lily Reinhart will be playing Betty, and Cole Sprouse will be playing Jughead. I don't know how he could. I guess he could. Maybe
he could be a good
off.
Jughead, I think.
Yeah. Brian Fuller has been announced as the showrunner for CBS's upcoming Star Trek series.
Good job, CBS. You finally did something right. Besides
the fact that
thing.
Well, besides the fact that this is going to rumored to only release on CBS's paid streaming service. You can't watch it on TV.
That's dumb.
We'll see though. A clip for Cartoon Network's newly reimagined Powerpuff Girls has been released with new voices, slightly new animation style, and slightly different tone.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
It was okay. I mean, it was never for me anyways.
I loved the classic Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved Powerpuff Girls as a kid. This just looked weird.
BT Dubs, it launches this spring.
Cool.
Just a thing. YouTube Red's first original shows premiered this Wednesday, February 10th. While no subscriber count for the premium service has been revealed, the fact that it is the 22nd highest grossing app in the iTunes store, and I think it was in the top 10 for the Google Play Store, is a good indication of its general success. So we'll see. Ashley watched Dance Camp this morning. It was okay. It's as good as, if not better than, any of the Netflix dance bullshit movies that always come on. She watches all of that shit.
Oh, I don't.
And I watched Laser Team. It was okay.
Cool. I have no interest in any of the YouTube Red programming so far. I just love YouTube Red for being able to
great service.
Use other apps and download videos.
Yeah. We'll see, though, because supposedly later this year, we're going to get access to, like, movies to watch. Like, let's say a movie comes up, gets released, like, 6 months after we can watch it. Or
that'd be cool.
So we'll see if that's true or not.
I just got it because I liked the bonus features.
Yeah. Skipping ads, great.
I forgot about that, too.
And I'm not one of those people. I will not put on an ad blocker because I feel like a dick. Like, I'm stealing from these people that are getting... already a 0.1 pennies per.
That was a big
play.
reason why I wanted YouTube Red too, is because I want to support people that make YouTube videos.
Yeah,
I mean, because I watch a lot of YouTube and I want to, and I have an ad blocker on my computer, but it wasn't for like YouTube. It was because I'm sick of like when I go to a website and there's like a pop up and then you can't use the website.
Yeah.
It's really the only reason I have it. When I disable it on like websites all the time. Like there's certain I have tons of websites where I just don't have it on. I just don't like just crazy dumb shit that makes websites unusable popping up on me.
Yeah,
but
I also love the being able to download episodes and stuff because like while I'm on the train, I can watch or listen to videos.
Right. Or if you're gonna go on if I'm gonna go on like a long car ride, I'll download some podcasts before I leave and.
Plus, you get Google Play Music, which is a great streaming service.
Oh yeah, I've never used it, but
you should try it. I think you'd like it.
I don't stream music.
Well, that's the point is you don't have to stream music. Whatever. Yeah. Anyways,
I got an iPod.
That's true.
I'll never change. You'll never get me to.
You will when your iPod dies, because that's what happened to me. I used my iPod religiously, and then I'm
gonna go on eBay and buy one of those refurbished ones that have
fucking expensive.
That have the 250 gigabyte hard drives in them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get one of those.
Do you want to move on to the main topic of the show?
Yeah, finally, after like an hour and a half.
No, it's 22 minutes.
I'm just kidding.
So the main topic of the show is we're going to discuss the trailers that released Super Bowl Sunday.
As well as Batman v Superman.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that one also went Sunday, didn't it?
No, a new one came out on Thursday.
Oh, okay. Whatever. It made it in because I saw it. Okay, so there's 4. We're going to talk X-Men Age of Apocalypse.
Yes.
All these were really short, by the way. These are not trailers.
Yeah.
These are teasers.
Let's do Age of Apocalypse first. What did you think about it?
It was okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
For everything that's come out about the film, it's like, all right. Like, it's fine. I want to see the movie anyways, so
yeah,
cool.
I wasn't overwhelmed. I wasn't underwhelmed. I was just whelmed. It was fine.
I did recognize, we watched, a couple weekends ago, The Scout's Guide to Surviving the Zombie Apocalypse.
Cyclops is in that.
Yeah, and that kid annoyed me in that. So
he annoyed you in that?
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see if he's any better. He's just like kind of a weird whiny
He'll be playing a totally different character in X-Men.
Yeah.
We got to see like Nightcrawler bamping away from Angel. I remember that. It's been a while since I watched The Spot, since last weekend.
Yeah. It was cool. But it was fine. I mean, it wasn't anything like, this makes me want to see more.
Cutting the car in half was pretty cool.
Yes.
One thing, though, I found with, like, comic book, like, super nerds was that, so apparently Psylocke's blade originally wasn't telekinetic blade. It was telepathic, which means it didn't really exist. It didn't, like, physically cut things. But, so it would be like if she cut or stabbed you, it wouldn't leave any mark, but you would psychically feel the pain.
Well, that makes sense.
Which is pretty cool, but you can't really do that in a movie.
Because it would just look like she's just nothing's happening. And then
people wouldn't understand it in the movie.
Yeah, it totally makes sense that they had to change the way that works.
Right. I like the idea of that, though, like a telepathic blade where it doesn't leave any marks. Like, it'll kill you, but it won't leave any marks. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
That's way more badass. But
yeah, but
I
you
understand.
Can't do that.
Yeah. I guess it's fine.
Yeah,
you want to?
It's okay.
Let's move on.
Civil War.
Yes, this was cool. It gave me the chills. Once again, it didn't really like reveal anything else. We got a good look at the two sides. We got a look at some cool tech. We got a better look at Bucky and Cap working together, and we got a pretty long glance at Black Panther, which I think is the most he's appeared in.
Seen the lineups.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. The money shot though was when Iron Man puts on the glove.
Yeah.
And blocks a bullet from Bucky. And just the look on his face, like, what the fuck? What the hell?
Yeah.
That was cool. That was worth it all. The whole thing. Still no Spider-Man.
I think they're gonna hold. I really do think they're gonna hold off until the movie.
I hope so.
I hope they don't show anything either, because we're hearing more and more that this is not going to be the full Spider-Man. We're not going to see him, at least to start, we're not going to see him in his full spider suit. It's going to be like a janky, he's a teenager.
It's just to drop him into the universe.
Yeah.
And maybe that's part of the deal with Sony is where, like, they can't advertise that Spider-Man's in the movie, or they just don't want to. Either way.
I think they don't want to blow their load. Like, I want that to be a moment in the movie where we watch and it's like, this is fucking cool.
We're like people that don't follow the news like us.
Yeah.
We'll go like, what? Spider-Man? I just really want people to have that reaction.
Yeah.
So.
Versus like him being all over the posters.
And
it's not his movie.
I mean, he's only in it for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree completely.
It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Batman v Superman.
The trailer that was released on Thursday.
Yes, the most recent trailer.
The Batman trailer.
Yes.
Because it was basically all about Batman. Where it was, I think if this was a trailer they released instead of the Doomsday one, the Comic-Con one was still really good.
The Comic-Con one still had like tonal issues for me.
Yeah.
But I think it's because...
But it wasn't bad.
Yeah, it was just... It made me scared. Like more than anything, it made me scared for this movie.
Made me scared. The only thing that hasn't made me scared for this movie is Ben Affleck as Batman. I think that's perfect casting.
Great casting. I mean, even Henry Cavill as Superman.
Awesome.
Great casting.
I've never been a Batfleck hater. But if this trailer were to come out instead of the Doomsday one, I would have been I would have felt less concerned. But this. What am I trying to say, Matt?
I don't know what you're trying to say.
I'm trying to say, like, I'm still concerned.
Yeah.
But I would have been more excited. I don't know. This is better than the Doomsday one. That's what I'm trying to say.
This is far better than the Doomsday one. I still think it's too dark, both tonally and visually. It's too, like monochromatic. It's just... I see Zack Snyder in this, and the more I see Zack Snyder in this, the more freaked out I am for this movie that it's going to be bad.
Right. Well, do we want to bring up Drew McWeeney's comments from HitFix?
Sure. Yeah.
So Drew McWeeney on a video for HitFix went out this week and said that he's heard from reliable sources that Warner Brothers is pretty worried about this movie because people are seeing it and it's not how they expect it to be.
Yeah.
And so they're kind of nervous about it. He thinks that he'd be surprised if Justice League stays on the date it's announced for and Zack Snyder directs it.
Yeah.
So
I could have told you that when the trailer came out at Comic-Con.
Yep.
Same thing.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no fucking way they're sticking to that date, and there's no way that Zack Snyder is still going to be on for this. If it does poorly. Right. If it did great, I mean, don't get me wrong. I am looking forward to a Justice League movie, like, more than anything. Because I love... Avengers are cool, but come on. The Justice League is way better than the Avengers. In comic book-wise terms, Justice League is amazing. I love the Justice League. I really don't want Zack Snyder to direct Justice League. Yeah.
I don't hate Zack Snyder. I'm just not like...
I'm not a fan of his films. Like,
I will defend Watchmen.
Yeah.
I am one of those people that loves Watchmen, but I don't really like any of his other movies.
See, like, even Watchmen, I didn't really care for it. But I don't think it was his fault for Watchmen. I just think it was too long.
Watchmen's a hard movie to put on.
It was just...
film anyway.
But I'm not a huge fan of Zack Snyder, and I will come out and say it. Like, I've been worried that he was involved in Man of Steel and now this, and especially for the Justice League movies, I don't think he's going to get the tone right or anything, but...
Yeah. Should be interesting.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens in the coming future.
I did not expect that I would be more excited for Suicide Squad than a Batman
Suicide Squad looks
movie.
100 times better than Batman v Superman. Saw the trailer again for Suicide Squad when I went and saw Deadpool again today.
Yeah.
I love that trailer. I mean, Joker's costume looks like total trash, but this movie looks Like, it's going to be pretty fun. Because it looks... Yeah, I'm not going to get too into it.
Yeah.
So,
looks great. Final trailer that came out.
Which was my favorite of the Super Bowl trailers.
Yep.
Was
TMNT.
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 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. Looks crazy. I didn't see the first one because I thought it looked really dumb. But this trailer, this one you've got Bebop and Rocksteady. And then we finally got confirmation, Krang. And he looks like Krang. Straight out of the cartoon. You got the Technodrome, like that is Krang. And I am so excited to see this. It looks like a cartoon.
Yeah.
It looks like they're catering to fans of the cartoon for sure.
My only issue with the first one, I saw the first one, was it felt like a Michael Bay film. The rest of it, like just the way it was shot, the gratuitous explosions, the weird slow-mo, that crap, was like, if this was taken out and the script stayed, the acting stayed, whatever, it still wouldn't have been great, but it would have been like far better than it was. It was funny.
I'm hoping
there was funny moments.
We see less Michael Bay signs in this movie because it's directed by another different director.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I hope it's less Michael Bay.
Yeah, because literally the first TMNT felt like Transformers with the turtles in it, and it was just like ugh.
Right. Makes sense. That's why I didn't want to see it. But this looks fun. This looks colorful, fun. It looks like the anti-Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Ninja Turtles was my favorite of the Super Bowl ones, mostly because of Krang. That one shot was awesome. So, yeah, I think that's it for this week. Do we have anything else to talk about? Really?
No.
Wasn't a lot of like real deep news. It was just a lot of little things here and there.
Yeah.
We did our Deadpool review too, so that's the biggest chunk of news. So, yeah, if you want to check out the Deadpool review, it's should be up on iTunes and YouTube. With this, you can like, comment, and subscribe, all that stuff.
Yep. I think I have a link. If you're watching this on YouTube, I should have a link in the description for the iTunes, so you can subscribe to us on iTunes. I cannot speak. And if you're on iTunes, same thing for the YouTubes.
Awesome. You can find me on all social medias at Scotty Boy, SCOTTYBWO 4 Ys.
Because 3 Ys was taken. You can follow me at Hagnerd, HAGNERD. You can follow us at Fuzzy Loaf on the Twitters. Like I said, find us on YouTube by searching Fuzzy Loaf. Subscribe to us, like our stuff, tell us what we do wrong, tell us you hate us, whatever.
Yeah,
or find us on iTunes.
Someone tell me how I'm wrong about Man of Steel. How we both don't like it.
Yeah. Man of Steel sucks.
Yeah, bring it on, Twitter haters. I'll be real nice to you and you won't be too mad at me anymore.
Yeah.
I had that once. Like, I made a comment about Man of Steel and someone said something to me on Twitter and I was just really nice to him and then he just wasn't a hater anymore.
Yeah.
I was just really respectful in my reply and everything and then he was just, all right, well, we gotta get out of here now. Smell you later, dorks.